3. Yo, yo, yo.
Yeah.
We live?
We live, baby.
Hey.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Cares None Be Dope podcast. I am your host, Chris Cares None, and with my co-host, Derek Fisher. What's up, baby?
What's going on, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you feeling?
Sensational.
You good?
I'm sensational.
Look good. Let's see. We're going to talk. And Tom.
I'm in the building, baby.
Tommy boy.
I mean, who else would it be? But
Hey.
I'm happy. It's been a while, dude. It's been how long?
Tom in the house. 2 months, maybe.
Summertime.
2 months.
Summer? Yeah, okay. All right.
They will be more frequently. So they will be more frequent. Well, we got a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
But first, I'm gonna ask about Derek.
Oh, man.
How you been, man?
Man, life been motioning up. I'm always into something pretty cool, as you know. Latest venture is Pretty Cool Body. So I am actually a couple months away from getting my massage therapy license. Actually just came back from my a client of mine. This is where I have my brand on right now. Pretty Cool Body.
Yeah.
Let's go, baby.
It's a mobile service team. So anybody that needs a mobile service within the Chicagoland area, stretches and massage, I'm your guy. It's been cool though, man. I've been really becoming in tune with the body. It's like another language. It's another language that I'm learning, and I get to learn different body types and how to maneuver them and how to make people feel better with it. So it's been cool, especially with all the business stuff that we've learned over the years. As far as having a quality service to offer people, it's been so freeing to just have something of value and then let the rest take care of itself. So I've been really just honing in on both of those things, speaking that language, but also letting the business kind of come to me in kind of how do you say, what's the best type of marketing?
It's a good question.
No, the best type of marketing is what is it called?
Word of mouth.
No, word of mouth.
Yeah.
Word of mouth.
So I've been really getting on that word of mouth and letting my hands do the talking and then letting everyone's mouths do the talking for me. So it's been kind of a rhythmic situation with that.
Yeah, because we're gonna do it because I know sometimes we differ a little bit about that. We're gonna talk about that. Can you want to start the clock?
Oh, my bad.
Oh yeah, start the clock.
There you
And 1 second, let me go ahead and plug myself.
Better.
Gotta plug myself. Like I said, pretty
Hold it
cool
up to the
body.
cam. There we go.
Pretty cool body. Are you mobile enough? That's my question to you all. Okay.
Yeah, give him the code.
Yeah.
Scan that.
Scan that QR real quick for me. Can you do that handstand that's on there, by the way? I know you can. Everybody can, but can you? That's a real question.
Well, Derek, I think it's really cool that, or it makes sense that you've gotten into this too, because I think from a lot of our podcasts, doing the male modeling stuff, you like, I don't think people probably understand how much of like a conversation and a relation you have to have with your body to do stuff like that. You imagine you just kind of like hop up on the stool and sit there. But from hearing from you about how like physically challenging, which makes sense, like physically challenging it is. And like, I think that hearing you talk about being just like in tune with your body and that, I mean, it's just been like a natural progression that I think you taking care of others.
Absolutely.
The same way.
I figured out a pain point within my market just by me being sore as hell all the time. And I knew that others were sore as hell. So I just want to develop a skill set that can meet that market. And I'm doing that right now. So it's just growing from here.
Hell yeah, baby.
So yeah, because I know I was just talking. Who was I talking to? Someone recent. First of all, I just put my chair down. Did they mess up with the camera?
You'll be all right. I'll move you a little bit.
Because I kind of wanted to sit straight up. That's why.
Yeah, I got to work on my posture.
Yeah, posture game. So nice segue.
You look good.
Well, hold on. Tom, how you got big things in the works?
Big things popping.
I'm good, man. Life is good. I feel like I'm fortunate enough, and it's crazy too. Like I feel like we all met each other at a kind of interesting time in all of our lives, and it brings a tear to my eye to feel like look at all of us, man.
For real,
we're all doing well.
For real, I love that.
So yeah, as you'll see at the end of today, we got a new space, so expanding things. Business is going well. This year's been interesting. I had some parts of things not go well, and some stuff do well, and it's been kind of like just weird. I feel like I don't want to be like failures can like hit different, but like when you have something that didn't pan out the way you thought or like missed expectations, it can be a little tough. But then like anyone, I'm sure without going off on a tangent, it's just like you can from the outside looking, it seemed like you got everything going and things are well, and like at the core of it is like it's like, dude, I'm healthy, I'm engaged, we got a dog, I got like I'm not tripping about money. But you still get like sometimes caught up in like, this didn't go out. The AT&T was supposed to come out yesterday, and it's just like little stuff like that. I feel like it's been kind of weighing on me. And luckily, I feel like I'm blessed enough to have enough opportunities that I feel like I got to start saying no to shit, which is kind of weird,
It's
and
about
It's a new
Yeah.
space. Yeah. It's a new
yeah,
space,
and
man.
so I'm just trying to dial in this part of the year. I feel like everybody starts to feel a little exhausted with things, and so as I'm sure you guys are, it's always this is a good time to regroup and get your shit together for next year and stuff. So I'm doing well. I'm doing well, man.
Oh boy.
And for those who don't
Boy.
know that, so this podcast studio, what you're watching right now, he owns this studio,
Mhm.
and there's a bunch of big spaces. What he's talking about is a new space. It seems a lot bigger,
It's bigger.
Oh.
Yeah.
and then you're gonna be able to do a lot more cool stuff, I would imagine.
We can do cool stuff. Yes, sir.
So
It'll be
that's
fun.
going to be super dope. Having an event space for
Mhm.
whatever reason, especially as a content creator and people who work, it's like so huge.
Yeah.
A content creation place.
Mm-hmm.
And he knows what he's doing, so it's like legit, which is what kind of, as a matter of fact, that's what led me to you. We talked about this before, but we got a lot of new people. We were doing the podcast at my house.
Yep.
And I was doing essentially what Tom's doing, right? And I was sitting here, you and me be just like this, and I would have to watch the red. I had to make sure it's on, and I'm looking at all the numbers, like kind of how you have to do that.
Hopefully we're going right. Are we live?
And I remember thinking, like,
That was a problem.
and I don't really know it. I know it enough because I did the research, but I don't know this world. Like, I couldn't fix it. How many times did we have issues and we couldn't solve it because I didn't know?
Yeah.
Whereas Tom would have a way higher percentage chance of solving a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But the main thing I realized was that if I'm focused on this part and I'm focused on that, there's no way I can be 100% engaged in the conversation. But just naturally speaking, if I'm because even this also taught me a lot about conversation in general, and I realized we do this as people, the interruptions, and when you have a podcast, you learn to get better with that over the time because it does make for better content.
Yeah.
And there's a safe way. You know who does it really well is announcers for like sporting events.
They allow people to get their shit off.
But they've learned the timing of each other so naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they've learned, and you can still get some yes here and there, but what I'm learning is that there is a nuance. And I think the trick is to shut the fuck up and listen. You know what I'm saying? Because even just now, you were having a conversation, or you were talking about what you got going on, and I had noticed that the clock wasn't running. So and I wanted to make sure I don't go over the time. So and I'm thinking, but then I'm telling myself, forget about listen to the Eric. So mind you, in the middle of the conversation, I'm sitting there thinking about that, not listening to what you're saying.
Right.
Even though I was listening, but there's just no way for about a half a second I was not listening to you because I'm thinking about all the timing. So I definitely wanted to get much better with that, and I do think the podcast has helped me. And so what we were doing is we realized that was becoming a pain point that we had to solve.
Yep.
Then we went to that one place.
Trash.
And shout out to him, man. He got a business.
Shout out
Shout
Trash. I think it was called Trash.
Nice guy, or whatever. But you could tell. So he was like, "Oh, we'll record a podcast." But then it was pretty much like his music studio.
Yeah, it was not a.
Yeah.
He had a camera, and
it was makeshift as hell.
yeah, which was cool because he gave for that, but it helped us feel good about being able to just have the conversation.
The next step, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, this is the next step,
Yeah.
but let's go ahead and let's clean it up.
And to even piggyback off that, I think the step before that, which was even more important, was figuring out that was a pain point for us to solve. As far as, when we got into our full back, when we first started off, we were like, I want to see how creative I can be with all of this encompassing. If I gotta do this, I gotta do that, I gotta do that. But then when we got into the mindset of, other people are skilled at things, you got to solve these pain points by allowing people who are more skilled at you to do the things that you don't know how to do. It's actually disservicing you if you don't do that. So that's when we really started flowing over here with Tom.
Well, and it's interesting because I was like, we need to figure this pain point out. So I'm like, we're not going back there, but I care about this pod. We're going to do another pod. And I think I might have literally just put in podcasts in Chicago or something like that. And I saw this.
Yeah.
It was this thing.
It's funny how
and I saw like some it just looked so different from that place we just came from that looked like somebody's back.
I wish you could have saw that shit.
Oh,
I believe it. Like we hear
it's like a music producer studio. Halfway.
So then, and especially because at the house, even though it wasn't like super professional, it was a set, it was a studio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had set it up with a set. It said "Cares None," and as a matter of fact, in the early days of us, I was like trying to figure out a way how we can like make it a little bit more. Remember we were having those conversations.
Sure, yeah.
And you've solved that pain point a little bit, at least by having more spots. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that was a pain point that we learned through that, and it was something about how you had the ad talk to me specifically, and I think it was like because it looked so modern, like almost futuristic, and I like sci-fi and tech. I'm addicted to GPT and shit, and so this just feels like GPT to me.
Yeah.
Well, and it's funny, like when we put this together, or when I put this together, like I thought it was like cool too. But it's funny how many people. I'm sure it maybe turns off just the amount of same people, but there's a handful of people that are like, if you ever get rid of that, I want to buy it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I guess it's it's not that big of a deal. But
for some reason, it felt good. It felt good.
Well, and speaking of feeling good, I got to give Chris a shout out. You were not quite first, but I think you were like second. You were like client number 2. Like I had just put that ad up or like posted on. I think we met on like some other site too, like a Peerspace equivalent or something like that. And we just kind of talked and. Real quick, not to plug myself, but it's like recording studios. Yeah, it's very common to be like, oh, podcasts, like, sure, we can do that. And like, let's flip on some cameras. But, but when I was starting this business, I was like, I bet there's people that would want it like just done for you with lighting and like somebody to take care of it. So you don't have to deal with this shit. And here we are now, obviously. We've done okay. So,
man. And, and it's crazy. It's crazy because you don't, and I didn't come from it from the perspective. The reason why I wanted to reach out is because I wanted to engage more in the conversation. I didn't mind doing that, which is kind of going by what you just spoke to, and even to this day, it's tough. It's tough, like being able to relinquish control of something that you create. I would imagine a lot of people who create an art feel that way because and we'll talk about this, and I bet you we all can relate. Is that like who's going to be able to see my vision like me? And to some degree, that is true. To some degree. However, what we've learned, and you've learned this before me, as a matter of fact, I think you introduced this concept to me. You are doing yourself a disservice because even if it can't be 100% your vision, but this person knows how to do this, and they get to 80% of your vision, it was faster. It was on time. Clean. It was clean. It was sent to your mailbox kind of thing. So it's like, okay. And then at the end of the day, and this is a whole completely off topic, we be trying to control so much shit, bro. And I think that a lot of times, kind of what you just alluded to is like, and I think that a lot of our bullshit, and of course I'm gonna take it here, but this is how I talk, trying to control shit, trying to control outcomes. And I believe, since you asked me what I got going on in my life, I truly believe this. Once I started to say, you know what, man, I'm just going to listen to all the books and everything that says trust the process, be present in the now, focus on what's popping now, because the only thing that matters is now, right? And not care about the outcome because you can't control it. Why put so much energy in something you can't control if a damn rock meteor hits Earth tomorrow? You didn't bust your butt and did all this. You didn't appreciate being in the process. And now you will never be able, and then you've trained your body to think that it's not okay because you're like, once I get to this, or once it looks this way is when I'll be satisfied. And it's like, and I've done that, so I'm not judging, but I really do believe the trick is to just be cool with the creation of the process. And to go back to the last point, other people who study this and do this and they put their passion into it, like time and its place, are going to be able to get more of that vision in the long run, more than your vision. And your vision is going to now be larger because now you have somebody who knows what the fuck they doing. So it's
simple as that.
And you this is where you come into play. You almost want other people to do this shit, so then we all can kind of just like eat off of each other.
Everybody eats. I mean, we're social beings at the end of the day, and I think with our creativity, we forget that because it's such our own vision, and we have our own 24 hours. So it's like, if I don't see this vision that's been in my dreams forever, if I don't see that exact thing, I'm fucked up. I don't know what to do. But when you're a person, you realize like we need each other, and that includes creativity. And your shit is really hype. Nobody that gets anything done just off of their vision alone. I saw Elon Musk and Tesla just do the whole rocket landing thing.
Nope.
He didn't do that shit.
He probably literally didn't.
But his whole team of Tesla-ites, they, you know what I'm saying? They put it all together. It's a communal thing. So I think when you have a big vision, you have to include others to help your vision. You know what I mean? I feel like, to be honest, that's the real creativity. Like it's kind of interesting because we've gone through the process of trying to figure out how creative your mind can be. I remember I was in that phase a couple years ago, but it's a skill set to have a thought and then give it to somebody else and then team it up, change it up. And you know what it's like? It reminds me of, not to get into politics, but it reminds me of like let's say for instance, Democrat Republic, where you're never going to get completely one thing on this side, everything. You're never going to get everything that you want on the other side. It's always going to be a middle checks and balances type of thing. So that's what creativity is. You're not, like you said, you get 80%, 90%, but you work with people to maneuver the vision that you both have together. And I've created music where I had to work with music producers. A lot of my music and whatnot, it wasn't the sound that I made, but I had to give up that control and let somebody else who was better than me at that part of it boost my sound to make it more, reliable for people's ears to hear it better. So yeah, I think creativity just in a combination setting is way better than an individual setting. I think that's a skill set though that people have to learn.
I mean, from the jump, since the first people's killing mammoths, ain't no one human killing no damn mammoth. You had the squad. You needed a squad to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, man. And even to this day, I still feel like, man, because I get it, and I'm still trying to break that habit. But I have learned that, man, if the more I let go of that, the better it just is.
I mean, the biggest flex I think this year that you made as far as letting go was the manager.
Oh man, let's talk about. First of all, shout out to Jill, my representation. She
wait, hang on. Do I got claps?
Do we got
okay. Shout out to Jill. So Jill hit me up randomly, So as y'all know, y'all have seen, things.
Boys doing you might seen his face around.
And all and the best part about it is I'm doing nothing but being myself. It's the best. I don't gotta fake to nobody. I don't gotta answer to nobody. I could just be myself. That's like, what's cooler than that? What's cooler than just traveling the world, having conversations, and trying cool shit and getting paid, hopefully, very handsomely for it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's a world better than that, right? No, dead serious.
Yeah.
And now that I see, it's like a snowball effect. And I think it's off topic. I think I know another moment where it changed. And we talked about this too. Ad nauseum. How you say it?
Ad nauseum. That's the
ad nauseum. I was so big on, this is for me personally, preaching cares none the brand. Like, this is what my brand can do for you. This is what my brand can teach you. This is what my brand can educate you on or entertain you. This is what cares none can do. And I made a little noise. People buying some stuff. I had a following from comedy when it was the Cares None comedy. Then I had a following from Cares None helping people get over social anxiety, right? So like it worked, right? But when it popped hard was when I stopped putting the focus on Cares None the brand and just putting energy towards everyone else's brand. And just by sheer coincidence, because I was putting love on everyone else's brands, now people are interested in mine. That was the change. I swear to God. You very rarely do you hear me talk about Cares None now. But shit's popping off. But before, when I was Cares None this, Cares None that, now I like to do it just kind of like subtly, like a hat, or something like that, or or my name, which is the best one. My screen name's Chris Cares. So okay, what's this Cares None thing all about? Da, 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 da. And I hashtag it every single time. So even if you just subconsciously you see it, right? The more you see it, why does McDonald's? Everyone on Earth knows about McDonald's, right? On Earth. I can't imagine one person, unless you're one of them indigenous countries off the side of Madagascar. So the chances are you know about McDonald's, and yet they still spend billions and billions and billions of dollars to remind you we still here. It's the same goddamn rib sandwich every year. We back. We know you was coming back.
Monopoly's coming again.
I know, you know what I'm saying? Monopoly.
Coming to monopolize.
There's got to be a reason why they're spending billions of dollars to do that. Oh, it's because they know the human psychology. I got to stay in your attention because you can fall off. You can fall, especially now, especially because of the algorithms. Because the algorithms reward you for showing up. Whereas, and you still got some TV users, so you're going to get, but a lot of people are, even when I'm watching TV, I'm scrolling my phone.
Yeah.
The eyeballs, especially the younger ones, are definitely on the phone. Maybe you got some 35s and up, maybe. But even I'm 40 and I be on my phone.
TV commercials are
dead.
Completely dead.
No more.
So now you have to show up because that's the only way you're going to make it on social media. As a matter of fact, I have a speaking engagement coming up.
Let me do the
They're
claps
taking care of
again.
me, and they want me to come. From what I understand, it's in April, so I'm still going to learn exactly what I want to say. But then real estate, and if I'm not mistaken, they want me to help them understand the value in using social media to help build some shit,
Right.
essentially.
Okay.
And then to help people get over the fear maybe of doing social media, which is perfect for that, and ultimately help raising their self-esteem. And then what do you do when them views ain't hitting? Because it goes like this.
Yeah.
And so for anyone who's listening now, who's trying to make it in the content creation game, and it's coming from someone who's been doing it 10 plus years now, and I'm relentless. Even when I'm scrolling, yes, I'm also being entertained and educated and all that. But I'm also seeing like, this video pop. Why did it pop? What happened in the first 3 seconds? What's the lighting look like? Is she smiling? Is she walking? I'm thinking like that, almost kind of like Mr. Beast, how he's like, I'm literally looking for like, okay, what's the? And I probably could go harder if I'm sick, but I don't. I don't want to. I want to laugh on TikTok too. But I am aware. Just like how you remember when you were watching all the ads on YouTube. It's like if you're gonna have an ad, well, let's what
see
can
what
we
it
learn
is.
from them?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
And so I'm just learning so much. You have to. There's a bunch of things, but you have to show up. It just is what it is. Unless your content is so fire. If you could put out one every 5 months, but it's fire, that could work. Odds are you don't have content that's fire. And when you're doing the short form clips, the reason why it also behooves you, not to mention because they will reward you for showing up, because then you'll learn what works and what does not work. And it's okay. So if you have one that flops, which I'm gonna help them too, because everyone, and it's this 200 view jail shit. Right? I keep hearing it.
Talk to me about what's that?
Everyone talks about, are you stuck in 200, 300 view jail, right? Because you're only getting 200 or 300 views. I'm like, that's 200 or 300 views still. Before social media, you were getting 0 views. You only got 5 likes. You were getting no likes, but no one knew your shit before the social media thing. Like, that's a blessing still, and it was free. We have this marketplace, so I promise you. And again, the vanity metric, which is another thing they want me to talk about at the conference. You have to do whatever you can to not attach yourself to an expectation of the vanity metrics.
Okay.
Because I'm telling you, it will not work. And then again, if you're doing it from that perspective, you're training your mind to need something that's not already here now. So when you hit that vanity metric, then it's going to be the next one. I need to hit 10K. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to keep reaching for this. And again, I'm not saying don't reach for shit and have goals and aspirations, but I'm saying don't be so attached to the outcome. When I'm playing 2K, am I not saying, man, I need to get 6 wins tonight? No, I enjoy playing 2K. I like win or lose. I enjoy with my boy. I've been playing 2K. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
No, it's actually a cool story.
Back at it now.
So I've been playing a lot of 2K. And I just enjoy being submersed into the moment with my boys, playing a game that I love with the strategic, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not focused on if we lose and like, oh, okay, we went 2 for 5 or 5 out of 6 or whatever. That's how I feel like I want to live my life, with all my things that way, so that could be, and even the bad shit. And we talk about this, but I'm gonna talk about it again. The bad shit almost makes it spicy.
Spaghetti. It's a little sauce.
Yeah. Think about it. I really believe this. I ask all type of gamblers. I say, okay, you're a gambler. Would you still gamble if you didn't lose? Would you enjoy it as much? And I'm talking real professional gamblers. They're like, no. They probably wouldn't even do it. I guess at some point you do, okay, well, if I could just make money, fair enough. But gamblers ain't doing that because they winning.
They're not doing it because they're winning.
Most gamblers are losers.
Mostly because it's the game, yeah.
You like the rush. You like the being in the present. You like the feeling of, oh, I got screwed, or man, I hit it. And you like the up and down, which is human beings.
Yeah.
That's why we watch TV shows. And then they got, on the next episode, the cliffhanger. Oh, damn, now you gotta watch. And they're taking advantage. And I do it too in my content, right?
Okay.
So go ahead.
Quick interjection. So how does one, if I'm an audience member, how do I balance? Because I guess one could get confused and say, do I lower my goal orientation in order to live in the moment, or how does that play out? Because you're not telling people necessarily to not be goal oriented, not say I want to win this match or I want to, accomplish this many things or whatever. I want to get these finances, but you're saying while you're on that journey, enjoy the moment more so than the actual outcome.
Well, 100% yes. With that, I'm saying this. I'm gonna make it clear. Of course, goals is the only way. 9 times out of 10, the only way things get accomplished. Right? You set a goal and you stick to the goal. The only way you can fail that goal is to stop, depending on your perspective. Right? Let me sidetrack a little bit. I was talking to someone and he was like, "Well, we had a difference of what does it mean to be successful." And he was like, "I don't care what you say. If you're a speaker or a musician and you go up there and no one shows up to your shows and the one guy did booze, you're not a successful musician." And I understand the perspective. Who am I to tell him what success is? In my perspective, there's people that won't even get on stage. They won't even get up on the stage. They won't press upload. And I get it, because I remember when I first was about to press, it's kind of a scary abyss, and then what people gonna say, you don't know. I get that's what my whole brand is about, is helping people get over that, because I needed to get over that. But I would say to not be attached to anything, to be honest. I say appreciate everything for what it is now. Yes, set goals, but if you don't get the goal, what are you, a piece of shit now?
Right.
Are you not the same dope person you were? Let's say pretty cool bodies or whatever, pretty cool everything just flops and you go bankrupt and everything's horrible. Worst case scenario. Are you still not dope, Eric?
Right.
Do you still not come here with the pod? You just gonna fix, especially your mind. You're gonna pinpoint, pivot to whatever works. Knowing you probably wouldn't even quit. You would just find a new way to how can we make pretty cool work somehow. I like this, and you believe in the vision. So you're, to me, that's successful. Whether or not you make $1 million or not. And the way, in my perspective, is some people literally won't get on stage. So the way I look at it is, and let's say some people do get on stage and they get booed and then they go back out. That's hard. That's extremely hard for most individuals. So to me, they're successful. Do they have the rags and the riches, and have they been crushing it like Taylor Swift? No. And we can judge success on those vanity metrics and shit like money and shit like that. But I'm telling you, when I stopped giving a fuck about any of that shit, and I just started saying, I'm kind of dope today, as is. And I'm very thankful to be alive. And I know this purely because I don't want to kill myself. So if you don't want to kill yourself, aren't you thankful to be alive?
Yeah.
So that all of my understanding of anything that I'm going to talk about going forward, what I do is going to always stem from, I want to be alive. And and not to get too somber, but I think that came from the diagnosis. Is like, man, when you really thought you was gonna die, and then you're like, oh shit, I got a couple more minutes on this bitch. I'm like, oh, and then you really appreciate, like, genuinely appreciate just being here, man. Yeah. Because when I thought all hell broke loose, I didn't give a fuck about Cares None. I didn't give a fuck about what car I was driving. I didn't give a fuck about 2K. All I cared about was, damn, I'm gonna miss Steve, D, all the people close. That's the only thing I cared about. And also just not existing.
Yeah.
And not knowing, like, oh, man, at the time. So I'm telling y'all, my advice to anyone in any endeavor or discipline, but specifically content creation, you have to want to either teach, educate, or what's the other one? Entertain. If you want to do one of those three, that should be enough, and just do that. I'm not saying don't make the goals, and then now they got people you can hire to help you get there, and you can literally focus on, I don't got the money. Fair enough. You got to crawl, like you used to say, you got to shake some ass a little bit. But
I did say that.
Don't look,
sounds like me.
But don't look at that, I got to do that. Well, do you want to do this?
Yeah. So it is, do you want to spend your 24, I've been on this 24-hour kick, but what does your 24 look like? Is your 24 successful if you don't reach that goal, or is your 24 successful because you went towards that goal?
Yeah, to me, it's towards that goal.
Right. So I think maybe that's something I could probably piggyback and say too. Like, just be goal. I like the mindset of being goal oriented, because I feel like I'm always goal oriented. But just understand that the journey is the actual fucking
sauce.
Win. That's the sauce. That's the sauce on it. So always be goal oriented, because it's gonna put you in a position where your 24 is so valuable. You're gonna feel good about every single 24 that you have. When you wake up, you're like, damn, I got this new goal, or I'm moving towards this goal to do this, to do that. So I always like the concept of goals and to utilize your energy better, because in my lifetime, I've used my energy a lot or given my energy to others and whatnot, but I don't know if necessarily it was valuable or goal oriented. You know what I'm saying? That's why nowadays I'm very much so keen on my 24-hour period and who I'm spending it with, how I'm delving that energy. Even today, I had what I have. I had modeling from 9 to 3. Then I just had a 3 to 4 massage therapy. I'm with you all now, and I have anatomy tonight. So every single thing I'm doing is valuable to my 24 hours. It's goal oriented. I have something planned, but it's still valuable right now.
Right.
So I like to kind of give that to people too.
I would. So from my perspective on that, I'm all about I'm writing goals now. Like I'm doing like a little like help, especially with this food content, because that's another thing we could talk about, making more food content and battling that, and it's working versus still being on your shit like you know how to do, right? So that's something that that's life be life, right? Like how ironic is that? How ironic is it that the one thing that I've looked at as a bugaboo in my life, one thing that's bothered me and up and downs, the relationship I've had with food is the one thing that's going to give me all the dreams. It's very, very weird way.
I was going to wait to see if you wanted to bring it up, but I was like, as you started to pop off doing that sort of stuff, I knew that, your food journey has been a journey.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't even put together that like the thing that maybe was, a demon in your closet is now the thing that's, helping, let's just say put food on the table.
Yeah.
Is interesting. But
ironically,
that's a bar.
But I guess I wanted to know, and if you want to share, has it changed your dynamic with food for like the worse again, I guess, if that makes sense?
So yeah, let's get deep with it. I've gained like 25 pounds from it. And to be fair, I had already started when I started lifting weights hardcore. That's when it started about a year and some change ago. But then all of a sudden I'm making the food content, and then and in the beginning I was kind of strict on my rules of what I was willing to do and how many bites, and just slowly got too engulfed in it. And I think that's why the content works so well, is because I'm genuinely like high when I'm making videos. If I'm being honest, like everyone who's watched my videos, like, bro, we can feel like how good
you can taste it through,
right? Like, God, man, this is delicious.
Yeah,
that's because it's
sensational.
The food to me.
He had to close his eyes,
especially because I'm trying the best of people's cultures.
Chris is busting over here.
I'm telling you,
it's the best of the best, and people always say, "Oh, does he like everything? Is everything positive?" I'm like, it's all good. 98% of the shit is at the very least like, oh, I need this. There's not it's changed me to this degree. I'm more open minded than I was. I literally had a bug cookie.
Yeah, I remember it.
There was bugs on the cookie. I ate it.
Good protein.
Protein. To be honest, you wouldn't even know. If you just close your eyes and put a cookie in your mouth and start chewing, you would just think it was like chocolate chips. You can't tell.
Chocolate chip butter.
Yeah, but it was wild. And then that same moment, I had an alligator with the foot still on it. Like the paw was still on the alligator.
Shit was moving.
I'm trying dishes that I like tripe. For years growing up, I'm like, nope. My grandmother made me eat the Mexican soup is menudo. And it's used with tripe. And I remember my grandmother loved it, and I couldn't stand it. It's cow stomach. And I couldn't stand the shit. But I've been more open-minded, and I tried it, and it was actually goddamn delicious. And I ate an olive and liked it multiple times since I first tried it. So my point is my palate was already open. Now it's even more open because I'm like, okay, at least I'll try it. If as long as it ain't like cow. I don't know, because people eat the crazy shit too. There's probably a few things I won't touch.
Bro, the Food Network needs to give my boy a deal here.
Something,
Chris, I say keep working, dude. I feel like with how much of a host you could be, bro, they should just put you in random places in the world and go out.
What's funny?
Go out and find shit.
I made a post.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I made a post.
That's a good one.
And I asked, I said, hey, would y'all want to see me in the show? 500 and 600. Yes. Yes. Tagging the Food Network. And they never hit me back. Y'all need to hit me back.
Come on now.
Keep working. Keep working.
But no,
keep working. That's true.
You got to prove that, you got to keep showing up, right? But again, I don't even care about that.
But see,
because I got the show now.
I do love that. And it's because you're living your 24 right now. I feel like that type of shit is gonna happen. Like you're so engulfed in that 24-hour period of this being your expression, this being your experience. So you're doing exactly what you're preaching. You know what I mean? By just
100%.
living in the moment.
100%.
I feel like the goals. I see what you're saying. Like you don't even necessarily have to focus on the goals as much because I think once you do the 24 so sharp, the goal is gonna kind of come that you would in a way that you probably wouldn't even understand, or the opportunities will, and they kind of can create things for you. So, like even the Food Network, like you just doing your thing, and then somebody hits you up. Hey, I see you doing your 24.
Happening, yeah.
Your 24 is crazy. Come be a part of our 24. We can put you in it. You know what I'm saying? So I like that. I like that.
I will say this though, that when not being attached to the outcomes might be one of the biggest sauces in my reality, especially from this standpoint. And I, you know me, I like to take it basic core first principles thinking, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, and I just said it before, I'm gonna say it again. At the end of the day, nothing can change how I feel about myself outside of my own mind. You could think something. It is my choice to agree with it or not. Tom can think something about me, and it is my choice to agree with it or not. And I can prove this because if I say, "Hey, Tom, you are very clearly an Asian woman."
Clearly.
Would you agree with that statement, Tom?
Not today.
Not today.
No, but I'm telling you. No, but hold on. But I know.
Yeah.
You are an Asian woman.
I don't think you're right. I'm gonna.
You would almost like you wouldn't even put it like. This is ridiculous. We're having a ridiculous conversation now. It's not even worth your time because you know it's ridiculous. So, and that's my way of thinking. It's like, okay, and this is where the delusional optimism comes in, and it fucking works, you guys. You know who does this quite well, love him or hate him? It's Trump. Seriously, I've never heard him say I need to work on this to be. Everything he does is immaculate and it's perfect. It's the best ever. He says it enough. Half the country loves him, cult style. Like they'll a lot of people will do some crazy stuff to you if you were against him. So my point is, I'm not trying to make it political. My point is that if you in your heart believe something, what really matters at the end of the day, who can tell you in your brain what to think? And I'm like, wow. So what I could do is I'm already winning. As long and at first I feel like you do have to fake it a little bit. If I'm being honest, I had to like constantly tell myself that. That's why they do the affirmations. You got to write the shit down. That's why I tell you, you got to do things. The more episodes you do, the more bodies you do, the more you do anything, you're going to get better at it, right? Same thing with your mind. Your mind's a muscle. We all know this. So you got to just train your mind. They call it neuroplasticity. You literally just keep training new neurons and new pathways and new shit in your brain, and you can quite literally change, at least according to the science from what I've read, how you think through repetition.
Yeah, how you navigate to reach the end goal, to be honest.
And check this out. What if the end goal is just enjoying life? Because from how you say it, from an anthropological perspective, and you're just an alien looking down on humans, we're just these little creatures running around and they got their own little life thing and social norms. And look how cute that is. But we're still part of that game. We talk about this all the time. How you can be part of two life games. The game of like, okay, we could play life and deal with people and go to work and jobs. And okay, I got taxes and that's life. Mm-hmm. But then you have like, we're part of humans. Like we're part of these animals doing weird shit. And it's so interesting that the brain is going off a little tangent. The brain, the study of the brain is the brain studying itself.
Yeah.
Damn.
The human brain studying itself.
Isn't that wild? That's wild. That the brain studies itself. Like what? And here's another thing. And I was talking to GPT about this. Shout out to GPT.
You gotta just name it.
You did it.
This point.
No,
you did it. It was you.
You were the first person who kind of
it was
like, you heard about this GPT thing, and I'm like,
no shot. Really? Was I the one?
Yeah,
I might have heard it, but I didn't.
Nah, we didn't.
It was. I think I might have heard it like on some.
Damn,
you were the one.
I take credit. Wow, that's crazy.
I remember that.
And to this
you
day,
changed our life with that one.
Whoa.
Like, yeah, you gotta check this shit out on.
I mean, you guys would have come around. It's not like it's like a hidden thing anymore. But that is fun. I didn't know.
No, you were the first person.
Yeah, you were the first person to open.
And then Chris was what I will give you credit for like being one of the first people that was like
taking it serious.
Yeah, like a little. I mean, taking it serious or just like bro, it's, like, again, I was like, oh, dude, I did some cool shit, but like, I can't fucking change the alternator in your car. So,
Right. They
but,
can tell you how though.
but I've been,
in the sound of Kevin.
no, and you know what? I did a real quick tangent on that. Like, I've been using it for that purpose. Like, I still don't use it that often, but I was having some tech problems at my house, and I was like, I've tried this, I've done this. What the fuck here? And it's like, oh, maybe try this, and like, it literally fixed my shit. We're doing some construction upstairs, and I was like, what's the best way to do this sort of shit? And it's like, go get this and this, and I'm like, okay, they don't have this, and they're like, okay, then maybe exchange it with this. It was like, here I am, instead of like, dealing with the fucking idiots at Home Depot that are like,
don't know shit.
Don't know shit.
They're just humans though.
I was just like,
information. I'm not even mad. Like, bro, you're a human. There's nobody going to relate. Compete with GPT, and it's always going to be nice and kind to you. You can ask it the same question a million straight times, and it will always talk to you. Tom, if you ask me the same question the first 3-4 times, all right, let's 10 times, like, nigga, you don't get it.
No, it
ain't for you. This ain't for you.
It's
immediate.
Like, okay,
I've been using it more.
But you introduced us to it. So.
All right. Speaking of,
I use it so much.
So when I make the hands-on content, hopefully y'all can see that the production value of the videos is, again, the more you do anything, the better it gets. From the very first one to now, it's like an ordeal. People calling in the show, to go back to your original point of like, Netflix is coming or the Food Network's coming. It's like, yeah, fair enough. But like, I got to show now that people, wait, and here's the best part. It ain't just about food. The DMs are proving that it ain't about food. It's about, wow, you're bringing people together. Right. I so happen to make more Mexican content, Jewish content, is because those are the people those are the videos that do well the most, and those are the ones that send stuff and DM me the most. But I still include everybody in it, and because I do it with that passion that you were talking about in the video, and I would imagine you can feel that I'm not some piece of shit trying to. One, I'm not pandering to anyone specifically, but then two, I feel like you could tell that like I'm a genuine human being. And I'm not scared. And I think the reason why we talked about this last time is why I'm could say they hate white people, hate Mexican people, hate Jewish people, is because they can feel the rest of the video. So I get them with the boom, which is social media, any content creator. We talked about this. You got to have a hook. But then the essence of the video, what are you trying to accomplish, and are you communicating that properly? And I think I do. And so it's so much more in food. Food just so happens to be the one thing that I can make because I'm literally having a damn episode.
Right.
This is delicious.
Right.
But then which has always been my goal, is to create the communities.
Yeah.
I've always been that way since I was a kid. I like to be, and we talked about this before, but I've been playing 2K again lately, and I like being the point guard. Give me the ball. I got us. Everyone going. I'm literally how I'm playing. We talked about this, and I think you were the same way as a point guard. And I'm playing the point guard position. For any those that don't know, that's the one who's typically the one who like distributes and play makes and turns plays in the scores. And as I'm reading, and just like in real life, I'm looking at people's shot selections, and I'm like, oh, okay, he kind of low. Everyone else got 7 shots. He only got 2. Let me try to find a way to get him involved. Because I also realized, we're playing a game, but it's still human beings on the other side of this, right? There's still real emotions. I actually lost my cool the other day, right? So then, and you know that, and I same way. I'm like, if I'm the point guard, and y'all want to be the point guard, but y'all fucking up. So now I'm checked out because I'm like, oh no, y'all got it. But my point is that I enjoy. Trust me,
being the matchmaker.
Yeah.
Not the matchmaker, but the facilitator.
The facilitator. Orchestrator is what I like to say.
Right?
Real quick, do you play? I assume when people play 2K, it's like I play as one team, you play as one team.
Not no more. It's different now, bro. It's called like my player. Yeah, it's called my player.
My player.
You create your guy, and then everybody else creates their guy, and you play 5-on-5, 3-on-3. You play like actual basketball with the
team.
Oh, the other guys who are on my player too?
Yes.
Oh,
so I got 4 guys that created their own guy.
So you're all like, these are your friends, or like,
I've known. Yeah,
you get in like your own.
Well. You meet some people online, but I actually know some of my guys.
That's
right,
crazy.
So you're actually friends
that's
too.
Interesting.
And then a lot of people, when you're online playing a lot of the games, you might have never met the guy, but you spend more time with them, talking to them, having these conversations than you do people close in your life.
That is true. I play games, and there's a couple of people that
they're like your boy.
I'm like I've known them for years. Like we spend we spent hours and hours together. Like, yeah, more than like my IRL friends too. But
That's
like,
funny.
100%. And
It's
so,
fun,
and
yeah.
that's cool, right? That's one of the
yeah.
benefits of
Community.
you can gain a community,
Mhm.
right? And I forgot where the tangent was going, but as far as building communities, I thought that the food was such a bugaboo. And here's why I know that life be lifing, because I thought the social anxiety was the thing I needed to overcome. And at one point, I needed to overcome it. And I thought that was the final boss. Remember, I was like, I fucking beat it, and I can go. And now look, a year later, and now you're talking in front of thousands. It's funny how everything just, and I'm like, I beat it, and here's how life be lifing. I'm starting to think that like, oh yeah, give him that one that he can be a little easier, while I'm still over here with the food problem, or the food. I won't call it the problem, but the food relationship. Yeah, no, we good over here. That's a real problem. But let him fight this. It's a big demon, and I fought that, and it was good. I helped people. It was, and then once I beat it, oh, that ain't your real bugaboo. You beat it. Your real bugaboo is the one you ain't necessarily managed well. You know what I'm saying? That's your real bugaboo. And you can't, and then what I'm learning is you can't let your guard down with a lot of things, right? And it's funny because when I started doing the content with the food, you want to talk about giving you all the excuses to do it. It's like, oh, I gotta make this video today. But bro, you got 4 videos lined up in your phone. You don't gotta go today. You can not go for 4 days. Just edit the video that you already recorded. But my mind's like, no, I got to do this video. And then like sometimes logical. Sometimes it's logical. I'll make a video and someone will be like, oh, you got to try this from there. And then I'm like, oh shit, that does sound like a good idea, and that probably would be a great video. And then I'm like, I gotta go make this video now. It's like, okay, well, let's get present. And that's another thing too. When you have addictions and dealing with shit, like you can not be in the moment. I feel like being present in the moment will help a lot of our issues. Like, bro, think about right now in this moment. Do you need to make this video right now? Right now. Do you need to make it right now? No. Do you need to make it in the next 4 or 5 days? No. I got 4 or 5 lined up. I got 2 edited, 5 unedited that I could just edit. So I literally could not make right now. I probably could go with, and I have been doing this. I can probably not make the food content for like 2 weeks and still get a new piece of content out every day. Not to mention, guess what, Chris? Why do you feel like you have to make the food ones? Your most viral video had nothing to do with food. That was a dog. Think about it. But my brain, so I took the Hey White People series that went crazy viral, and I was talking about shoes and Yetis and all this, and then like I started doing the white food and been having fun with it, like a strawberry pretzel salad. And then that shit hit, and I'm like, and that was like the end that gave that little demon like, oh, got his ass. And I completely, and I still try to not stick to just food, but I saw where it happened, because then I started, and it was easy because I want to go eat the burger. Are you kidding me? I want that. And so you mean to tell me I can accomplish all the dreams? I've been trying to build a community. I can build it, and not only just for food reviews, but actually mean something and help people, and people feel better. And go eat that burger. It's okay. It's okay. It's worth it. It's almost, and it's gonna sound crazy. Oh, you're sacrificing. It almost feels like you're like sacrificing your health to some degree to for this vision.
Yeah.
But there is a way, and it comes down to discipline, right?
Mhm.
But then I have this part of me that's always like, well, even if I didn't have discipline, even if I hear me out before you say anything, even if I didn't have discipline, and I ate till I damn near died, right? Ate 100 burgers, I still like my life. I still love you. I still love y'all. You know what I'm saying? I still. My fault. Yeah, I just did. Why I did Trump?
Is it corded?
Yes, it's the best.
I
burger.
did. I like my. Going to be better.
It's gonna be the best burger.
No, nobody makes a better burger.
I'll tell you.
No, but my point is, and that's where like there's this balancing act with, and again, we're human beings, right? And it's the mind. There's no such thing as this is the way it's supposed to be. There's no such thing as even right and wrong ultimately. So I have to be also aware of that, bro. Just live your damn life.
Yeah.
Live your life. But then really think about, is it vanity metrics, or do you feel like, okay, maybe you should work on your food because you don't feel good, or you maybe shit don't fit the same, that kind of thing. Don't do it because, I'm just trying to lose weight. Like do it because, or think about the reason why you should lose weight. What's the reasoning behind it?
Life should always be the reason, first and foremost, right?
Right. So ultimately, you can't just and listen. All the cultures have phenomenal food, you guys. Everybody, but
Everybody.
it ain't the healthiest shit.
Nobody.
Listen, I'm the babka king. You can't eat babkas all goddamn day. And it's delicious. Babka's so good.
Go straight to
Have
the
you had
ass.
that?
Chris, why didn't you bring shit?
You
bro?
know what? I
You
swear
didn't
to
bring
God,
the
No,
fuck.
I get some babka.
I swear. You haven't had none yet either?
I don't think so.
Dude, I mean,
You're
that was a
babka
missed
king.
opportunity.
I know, that's
bro.
crazy. And I got some
We could
babka.
have live taste tested, bro.
I'm
I
telling
mean,
you,
Derek-
sampler.
and he's got the other stuff to go.
Well,
to, I mean,
we've done some reviews.
Yeah,
And we'll
we
do
did
a lot more. But I was thinking because I had kind of took a bite out of it and it was in the freezer. And I'm like,
damn.
It
Well,
was the
next
beery
time,
one
Chris,
from
you
the
better come
Baca
out with
bailout.
something, bro.
so hold on, I got I don't know if you saw this. No, I partnered with somebody
Yeah.
to make babkas, a Kersnan flavored babka.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
that.
so
I-
check this out. This is a real thing.
I've been
So
missing.
I'll tell the story of the babka king story. We're getting ready to end here soon. So I'm getting these things in the mail, right? Everyone's like, oh, try this, right? And then I get this one box. I open it up, and the top just says, enjoy the babka, JT Pena. That's all it said.
Mm.
I'm like, first of all, who the hell is JT Pena? I was like, how'd you get my address? Right? And actually, no, this was at the business address. But I'm like, no, normally people say, can I send you something or something? You know, I know that it's coming more often than not. This just showed up. So then I went and I opened up the box, and the waft.
The waft.
The
He
waft
about
of
fell down.
cinnamon and chocolate said, it's, I said, bah! I said, whoa, and it's all on camera. And I'm like, the hell is this? It was crazy. I'm like, oh, so I opened it up and I'm like, it was this dense bread. And I'm like, and the cinnamon and chocolate. So I opened it up and I'm like, what the hell is this? I'm like, what the hell is
That
this?
food craving win.
Oh, bro. So then I opened it up, I cut it up, and I saw the inside. I had never seen what because it's like layered in a very interesting way. And I'm like, oh shit! But don't forget, it smells like life in heaven. I said, oh, what if I throw this in? It's a pastry. For those who don't know, it's a Jewish pastry. So then I was like, what if I put this in the air fryer? I put it in the air fryer.
Oh boy.
You didn't open up all the flavors.
Oh no.
You didn't.
What the hell was that?
Oh,
I'm like, what the hell is that? On camera? I saw it. I'm watching it as I'm editing this show. I'm like, damn, that shit look crazy. I had it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I took the bite and I'm like, unreal. Unreal how good it was, right? So then I was like, and I made this video, and people were like, oh, if you think that babka is good, try this one. Then people kept sending me babkas. And then I was like, well, I'm the babka king. So it was self-named, but it made sense, right? And I think it's awesome that like a large portion of the Jewish whole population calls me the babka.
Yeah,
I think
that's cool.
fucking cool.
I think that's cool.
I think that's super cool. I'm talking big names.
You got a rabbi in there?
A bunch of them. They've been and a shout out to so many people, and not just from Jewish, all the cultures.
Mm-hmm.
So many people like inviting me into their homes to break bread with them.
You invited to the cookout type.
Yes. To so many different cultures, and they all got different names for their cultures, right? Or the different parties different names for the parties for their culture. And it's so surreal. It'll be like a 60-year-old father. He's like, I just want to give an open invitation to my home with my family. Come break bread with us. We love everything you do. I'm talking thousands of this. Thousands and thousands of. I'm like that's impact. It's one thing if I'm just making food reviews. Like for instance, I love Keith Lee. I like him. I bet you he don't get nearly as many of like what you're doing right now is legitimately saving lives. Right? Because that's not what he's trying to do. Like, right. I'm not mad at him for that. He's not trying to save lives. He's a food guy and he likes to talk about it. There is a little bit more of a mission. To me, a lot bit more of a mission. It's like, okay, if I am going to have to battle this demon head on, it's going to have to come with some real substance. So it's like, if I'm going to bite this one, because I know what it takes to win these battles, and you really can't indulge. And if you do indulge, you have to be so on point with everything else, you know what I'm saying, for it to work, to lose, whatever. So if I'm going, my fault. So if I'm going to indulge in this, it's got to be a bigger purpose.
Yeah,
I'm not going to just sit here and fight that demon. Like it's like being a crack addict with cocaine right here.
You got a cocaine.
You know what I'm saying?
Like Pierce on you.
It's like cocaine boogers, and then we put them in, but you can't sniff.
Don't sniff.
You just got to sit there. Just You go-
Like the
Right?
guys that taste wine, they gotta spit it out afterwards.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
oh, the-
Right. Damn, I swallowed.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I just felt like with the food thing, to go back to your original point, if that's where we were going, is it has been a I'm weary to say pain point because I don't like giving it that power, but essentially, by definition, it kind of is.
Pain points are our friends.
does it
Especially
bother?
if you're right, it's a good point.
does it
But I'm
bother
also weird
you?
about how I word things because if it, this is where I go back and forth because I agree. I need to know where I need the pain point to switch it up.
Get over the hump, yeah.
You wouldn't even know what to do if there was no pain point. So that's why I like. I know that I
Yeah.
like pain points
For sure.
I also believe in giving credence to things like, oh, that's not a pain point. I can solve it. It's how I say it. I guess it's more the essence behind. Oh, this is a fucking problem versus it's a pain point. So if you say, you know what I'm saying,
pain points are solvable. That's
Right.
what I always say. Problems, I don't know about those, but pain points are solvable.
Wait, say that again.
Pain points are
No,
solvable.
before that you said
Problems, I
problem.
don't know about those, but pain points are solvable.
I like that. That's a bar. You should
Yeah.
post that. I really do like that
Okay.
because when it's the energy behind it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, but I've been doing good. I've been doing good like the last 7 days because I finally was like, all right. And I'll be honest, it was when I signed the contract. And I have been telling myself this for a while. I'm like, because I knew it was coming. We were going back and forth in the contract, and I'm like, all right, because I don't want to go on stage and not feel my best, right? Especially for such a large venue. So I'm like, all right, get your shit together, and then also mentally, right? I know I feel like pretty much God mode now, but I would really feel God mode if I've been crushing it with my my disciplines. I just know I feel accomplished, like I'm doing something strong. Again, also realizing that even if I don't, I'm still dope. But we can play the game too. It's like two things can be true, kind of thing, right? So I
think that's what you're ultimately trying to bring out as far as the message goes. I think anthropologically, you got to understand that you are a human and you are good enough. Socially, it's okay to be goal oriented and work towards something. So I think just balancing those two understandings out is what you're really honing in together. And the message, it seems like you're sending to people.
Yeah.
You know, just understanding that you're good enough regardless. You're a human walking this earth. When I talk about things from an aerial perspective, it's funny. My last client I just served an hour ago, she lives on like the 28th floor in this high-rise building in the Gold Coast, overlooking all the fucking Chicago and shit, right? And we were both talking, and she's like, I just look at these people. This just look at them. It's such like a community. Not these people, like you people type shit. But it was just like such an orchestration for her, and we both saw it as the same type of deal. Yeah, it was just such an orchestration of movement, and it seems like veins within the city and all this other stuff. So it's like it's when you see it from an aerial perspective, it puts that biological base to it. Whereas you're just a biological creature on this earth. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. Nothing knows what it's doing. It's just living. Socially, we think we know all of this shit, but we probably don't because, you know what I'm saying, biologically, a lot of shit is happening. But even with the social shit, having a goal in mind or wanting something more on top of understanding that you're already okay, I feel like filling out your 24 hours with that goal-oriented mindset is what helps you to strive and keep
I would say
for life.
My ultimate thing that I would want people to get from my way of thinking is, at the end of the day, whatever the fuck you think, go with that. Ultimately, I think that will give you the most fulfillment out of life, in my opinion. Again, and if you agree with this, you agree with that. At the end of the day, and that's that kind of makes life spicy and it's saucy. Is because we're a little different. And think about it. Nobody. And this helps me be a little bit more empathetic. You know, I've been trying to work on empathy for my whole life, damn near. And there's moments where I don't have it, but there's moments where I feel like I'm working on it. Nobody on earth will have the exact same perspectives as you. Nobody. Even a twin who lived in the same house, in the same room, it would be a little bit different because what about that one time you went to the bathroom when y'all was in class and then you stayed in and somebody threw a eraser at you and that traumatized you and your twin didn't get that. So now, and that can manifest 20 years later into a problem. So no one, and that's a superpower, I think.
Yeah, I always say everybody has their own 24, man, even twins.
So when I go to the speaking engagement, one of the main things I'm going to try to really hit home is the value, and this is why I wanted to hit on you specifically, because you like to talk about, and you should, is you're so like physical focus, and you like having like a tangible thing that's polished and like a product service or whatever, that you like to have it popping ready to go, which is, who am I to tell you right or wrong? I just also know that like with you specifically and all people, is that like no matter what you did, in my eyes, there's nothing that you can add to what you've done or what you're creating that would change the fact that I already think you're the dopest motherfucker on earth. Personally, this is how I think. And again, we can have our own goals, and I'm not saying, I'm just about from my perspective, and all I care fuck about is what I think. I just know that there's literally, I don't give today. If you're like, you know what, Chris, I'm gonna just play 2K. I'm gonna say, come on, we playing 2K, right? If that's truly what your heart desired. Now, if it was just on I quit type shit, I would maybe try to be like, are you sure, kind of thing, as your homie. But ultimately, it's like, nope, I put my time in. I thought about this. I don't want to do it no more. I'm riding with you, and you would not be less of a person. Now, if you were wasting my time, kind of thing, that'd be different. You talked about that, like, am I spending time with a motherfucker who's wasting my time? Yeah, right. But ultimately, it's like, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do. And the more I truly embody that, it's opening up. It's crazy. I swear to God, it's crazy. It's just today. I got to respond to the podcast on another deal. So it's like, oh, they coming now.
Hell yeah.
They coming.
Mm-hmm.
We
And
eating. Sorry.
Yeah,
no,
we
all right.
eating like
Hey, so before we get out of here, there's a couple of questions. So I asked some questions on on the IG stories.
Yes, sir.
And I would like, and I have not read these. Didn't I tell you I didn't read these?
No, yeah.
So
I would like for y'all to ask me on those. Get maybe two in a piece, maybe.
All right.
I'll try to keep the answers short. Maybe.
Yeah.
Two
Do you want to just like try to rapid fire?
Yeah, we'll make it kind of quick. Yeah, we'll make it kind of quick.
All right. I'm gonna keep the camera on you then.
Mm-hmm.
But here, everybody, are the questions. Oh, there you go. You can see a little bit. Cool. All right. Chris.
And I have not read these.
If they are brief, keep them quick. When you come to Canada.
There's no plan to come to Canada, but I will. There's something that I would like to go.
How often do you listen to Isley Brothers' greatest hits?
Ooh,
Isley Brothers?
Yeah.
Actually, not often, but I do like. I do like the Isley Brothers a lot.
It's my favorite group of all
Okay,
time.
here's one that I feel like is applicable. If you were on death row, what would be your final meal?
Oh. Honestly speaking, it would be probably a bone-in ribeye, some type of Oscar style,
Mm-hmm.
with a crab cake as the appetizer, the side dish of some type of lobster mac and cheese or some type of, and Brussels sprouts. The glazed.
Brussels sprouts.
Yeah, and then lately, believe it or not, probably a delicious babka for dessert.
Right,
Babka.
Specifically from the babka bailout peach cobbler cares none babka.
Yes.
Specific.
Yeah, it's very good.
Some good content would be how to care for your beard. Might also help you get a deal. Somebody said, not much of a question.
Okay, yeah, beard game strong.
Beard game proper.
I have too many questions.
I've been told about the beard.
Hey.
Rachel Dawn just said, I have too many questions. I just want to say that I love you. Keep it up.
Oh, there you go. Shout out to Rachel.
Shout out to Rachel.
Uncle John says, what is your favorite comfort food from your childhood that you still enjoy today?
Comfort food from childhood. Oh man, believe it or not, cereal.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of my. You can't go wrong.
I can't even have this shit in the house.
It's a wrap.
I can eat a box easy.
Yeah, easy.
I can eat a box easy without thinking.
2 thumbs up says, when are you going to review some Puerto Rican food?
I have already. I'll do some more. I have already.
Did.
It was really, really good.
Plantains popping.
Yeah. There's the mufungo.
Sounds
It was delicious. Plantains. You take them. Oh man, really good.
I'm so basic, but what is the best dish you've ever tried?
That's
tough, right? That's tough.
It's a hard one.
we got a second. What's your beard care regimen? So
that might be a thing. I like my beard.
I know.
And I ain't gonna lie. I do put energy and effort into my beard. I think it's obvious.
I like it. I like it.
El Rodrigo asks, are you just doing local eateries? Or are you willing to travel?
No, the goal would be to travel across the world. It'd be nice. So check this out. I'm making a pitch right now for myself. I promise you, whatever organization, company that's like, hey, if you put me on your show and you put some money behind me, because that's the problem with traveling, right? It ain't, I got to pay for this shit.
Yeah.
Right? So it ain't necessarily cheap. But if you get, I promise you, it's gonna work. I promise you for a fact that there's nothing. I got proof that people want it. I know it in my heart delusionally, and I just know how much I would crush it. So you need to hit me up, hit Jill up, and let's get something going because let's get cracking. Because I got an audience and they love me and I love them. Let's do 3 more.
3 more. Okay, then let me maybe pick some slightly better ones. That's what I'm like. Let me see here.
Let's see who we got popping.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm struggling here.
You
Okay,
good,
this
you
is
good,
the last page here. There's a couple that like weren't questions as much as just like things. So this guy asked, "What do you do for a living?" And so
Yeah, so ultimately, I like, and I really believe this. I'm in the people feel good business personally. That's what I do, and I do that in whatever ways I can. The ways those tend to be recently is keynote, professional speaking, content creation. I did DoorDash about 7-8 months ago. That was helping me. That was actually helping me along. I got a crazy support system, but now things are starting to flow in a way where I can like feel confident in saying I'm a content creator, public speaker, and professionally now.
Yeah.
So ultimately, I'm a professional keynote speaker and content creator.
There's a couple people talking about just Jewish food and Jewish related things, but
Shout out to the Jewish people, show me so much love.
Yankee Zugo asks, "What is your favorite thing about Jewish cuisine?"
So I wonder if they mean like a specific dish or just in general.
I think just in
how about
general.
this? In general, not necessarily the cuisine. One thing that I've learned about, I've learned a lot about the Jewish culture, but one of the main things I really take from what they got this thing called Shabbat, I believe,
Shabbat.
and they cut off from the world. No cell phones, and the more orthodox you are, the more serious you take this. I believe, if I'm wrong, I'm no disrespect, but they shut off and it's family, and they literally just detach and it's family time.
Did this just happen?
I think it's if I'm not mistaken, it's every week, like on Friday night or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So and I'm thinking like that would be a powerful thing for everybody. Like,
yeah, that sounds good.
To just detach for a day. I know sometimes when I go on the float tank, I feel great because I'm away from my phone for an hour. I can imagine a whole day every Friday with your family. That would probably be great. So that's one of the main things. I guess not necessarily the food, but then I'm like, man, that's actually cool. Yeah. And if I'm being frank, of all, and so many cultures have shown me a lot of love, the Jewish culture has far and away, I would say the Mexican culture is probably right there too, but the Jewish culture is showing me so much love, man. Like my DMs is just littered with good energy.
Yeah.
My comment sections are littered with good energy. That's actually hard to find. You don't even see too much BS in my comment section, because when people do, then all of the community is like, nope. And they hold me down. Like, so it's like, it's really a community here. And so like, I think we've built like, and y'all been part of this, we've built like this community of like kind of dope people having a good time, willing to take some jokes, willing to get a little, we'll have some tough conversations. It's all, at the end of the day, what's the energy behind what we're doing here? It don't matter what the fuck what they say. We'll end it on this. It's not about what you said as much as it's about how they made you feel.
It's true.
Yeah, feelings are always gonna be there. It's always gonna be.
Because you can remember how I feel about it easier than you can remember exactly what you said. Like, I don't remember what he said, but he pissed me off back in '98. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and for the people, I'm ending on this, for trying to get into the content creation game, because I'm about to talk to this audience.
Yeah.
Show up, and I know you've heard it before, but it's the truth. Show up as you and do whatever you got to do to show up as you. If you show up as you, the nuances, don't give if you get a little something in your beard, don't try to be all like, one thing, shout out to Keith Lee, love him. And I watch his content. You can tell he's kind of like, and I'm like, personally, and listen, if we are at a restaurant, I don't eat like a damn clown, do I? No, I know how to eat. We've been to nice restaurants. I know what I'm doing. But in the video, I'm having fun with it, man. I'm picking big bites and just, oh man. And you know what helped me do that? Was that damn social anxiety exposure therapy shit. So now, then let's say somebody did make a comment, believe it or not, I know it's counterintuitive, but it's that little shit that makes people connect. I'll make a video in a part that I wasn't even thinking about is 5 people were like, oh, that part or that thing, where'd you get that jacket? Or it's never, you don't know what part of the content. You make your art the way you want to, and you put it out, and however people interpret it, how they interpret it. And from when my experience of a 10+ year content creator who seems to trajecting in a positive light, it be the little shit It's the little shit that really creates the community. Not your big vision as much as it is, damn, he shows up, he talks about this, or if you got a problem, you diagnose with something, if you're willing to be vulnerable, because a lot of people dealing with shit. Yeah, I talk about my CLL, 4 or 5 people hit me up, oh, I got that too. Boom, now we a community now. Like, okay, damn, So I know we're getting over time. First of all, D, tell them where they can find you.
Hey, prettycoolbody.com is where you can find me. Actually, you know what? Let me give you a
hey,
you got tattoos or something?
Hey,
no, I don't have a tattoo.
we gonna get demonetized.
Tattoo.
We're gonna have to blur it.
No, we don't. Pretty cool body. I just have one question. Are you mobile enough?
Oh, marketing.
Are you mobile enough? Ask yourself that. That's the only question I really have. Most likely you aren't. And if you aren't, you need to come see me.
Mike.
Oh, sorry. My bad. My bad. Come see me though. I'm really a person that's really getting in tune with the physicality of being a human. And I love that I can serve I do about 25 people a day now, but it's just fun to me. A lot of times one of my last clients for a stretch therapy session, he's a physician. And I'm hooking him up and whatnot, kind of getting his body warmed up and stretching him. And he's like, you know what? I can tell you, I know physics very well and all this stuff. I know the body. You are very keen with touch. Like it's a language that you're speaking with my muscles. And you're talking about the sartorius muscle and the piriformis and this and that and how this attaches. You have something. So I noticed that when I touch people, they respond well. So I'm really working on that type of communication to develop a community. And Pretty Cool Body is going to be the way that I want to do that. So Pretty Cool Body, are you mobile enough?
And from my perspective on De'Eric, and I think you're going to find a lot of people who can take passion in doing what he does, but they're not De'Eric.
It's true.
And in my opinion, that's his value. It's because it's who he is. It's him and his essence and how he responds and how he looks at life and how he thinks and how he moves and how he puts the hands on you. You getting that unique package from him specifically, and he does everything with as well as he can and efficient as he can, and he likes to be quick and he hustles a lot. So, and I'm not just saying that because he's my boy. I believe that in my heart. I don't lie to no goddamn body. I believe that because you're going to find someone who can massage well and be a nude model well. You're going to find that all over, but you're not going to find them, and they're also De'Eric. And De'Eric, to me, in my opinion, is the ultimate value of the reason why you should come to him. Because if you've been watching this podcast for almost 100 episodes, you know what kind of person he is. Would you rather go to a person like him, hooking you up, doing it well, or someone who you don't know, who ain't like him? And chances are you're going to probably want to go to him.
And also, too, I find you just as valuable.
Thank you.
That's more important than anything. You can find a lot of people to, touch you and whatnot, but seriously, I find you valuable. I want you to be mobile enough.
Which says a lot right there. And Tom, where can they find you?
Man, the same spots.
Hey.
ChicagoPodcast.studio. If you want to start a podcast, this is the place to do it. But guys, I just want to say on that note too, as we get to close to 100, I want to thank you for bringing the podcast here, having me be a part of it too.
Yeah,
I appreciate that. I do enjoy these. And as I said at the beginning here, I feel like from when we met to now, man, we've all, we've gone off our own paths, but I feel like we're all probably happier than ever,
Meshing.
So
that's a good word.
It's
very
adjacent.
good.
Everything's adjacent.
Wait, and listen, I know I've been a little like, I haven't been making it a priority to get here every week like we were. That's not because I don't love it. It was just other shit was popping off. But there will be a time where it's going to be a thing because there's going to be big names that going to want to be on here more often. So it's like it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah,
it's
sure,
coming.
for sure.
But I do make I make content every day, daily. So, but and you did podcast. It's a little bit more.
Where can they find that content if they were looking for?
Oh yeah, so you can find me on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Cares None. One word. Chris Cares None.
Mm-hmm.
You can check me out on my website, caresnone.com, or you could just use the good old Google and just type in Cares None. I've been in some articles recently. Had articles written on me recently. Yeah. Dope article written on me. Shout out to that article. HAISH. It's a Jewish publication. Super dope. Been on the radio in Wisconsin. Like legit shit's getting legit, right? Yeah. So you can find me at caresnone.com. Just Google Chris Cares None and all kind of shit pop up. I need to get my verification.
I know, right?
They turned me
That's
down, so I'm mad about that. Cares done. Nick.
good.